Front Row MMA here with Jay Furness after his first round victory at UCFC 4. Jay, the guy looked dangerous standing up, but you were happy to stand for a couple of minutes. What was the game plan going into this fight?
To be honest, I knew Dragan had a pretty good kickboxing background. His pedigree in striking was, you know, it wasn't a secret to any of us. The plan was really to feel it out, and then as soon as the opportunity came, you know, close the distance, take him down, make it ugly, and maybe make him a little bit uglier. So, I mean, it didn't come how I expected it. He landed a couple of leg kicks early on, and then as I went to return one, he threw one, and then we sort of spiralled into some sort of crazy takedown. I landed on top, and yeah, and then it.
He had a bit of a he had a bit of a guillotine on to start. Was there anything ever to that? Was it tight or?
No, it was never close, to be honest. I don't know if you guys heard, but Danny Mitchell in my corner, he's probably, if you ask me, one of the best cornermen in the UK. Danny's just saying he could see the choke wasn't on tight, and Danny was saying, you know, let him burn his arms out, let him have it, and I was comfortable in that position. I was just chilling out. You know, he could squeeze all he wanted. I had one leg passed and the other knee controlling his hip, so I was happy in that position. And I knew as soon as I could put my head free, then I'd be on top in a good, solid half guard position to start ground and pounding him. So I just let him go what he tried to go for, and then when I put my head out,
you didn't do any of the gurgling or the, you know, you hear a choker go, oh, they make sounds.
Yeah, it was never really under the chin, to be honest. He had it across my chin there a little bit uncomfortable on my neck, if anything, but you know, it was never close as a choke.
You know, you say you were taking your time, but as soon as you saw your moment, you took no time to sort of rain down a series of heavy blows on. This is an unfair question, I suppose, to your opponent, but were you surprised how quickly he tapped out from that?
Yeah, a couple of the elbows got through quite clean, but most of the other shots were kind of hitting gloves and arms, and I was surprised a little. But as I went to start passing his guard and get that half guard position to sort of sit on his hip and ground and pound him, I think he popped his rib or something like that, and it was a combination of the shots starting to come in as well as his rib that forced him to tap out, as opposed to just the elbows. But I mean, I wouldn't like to be on the receiving end of a couple of them elbows, but you know, I really thought I was just setting myself to get the position to start throwing more. And then, you know, I saw the tap, and you know, obviously it was hurt. So
I think most of us thought that the first thing you'd do was go for the double leg and grind it out and make it ugly. But again, you were happy to stand on the feet. He made a comment about the leg kick he landed that, you know, threw you. Was that the case, or were you off balance? Because I know it ended up going to the ground. Yeah. But you know, one fighter says one thing, I need to know what the other fighter does.
Yeah, I mean, you feel it, you know, when you take a heavy low kick, it's like, and you know, it's quite tender and sore. There's no tenderness or anything. I didn't feel it as such, but I'd committed myself to a low kick myself. So because I committed to that one, you know, it was pretty easy for me to fall over on the other leg. And you know, he landed some quick. He was quick with his low kicks. The first couple, I didn't even have a chance to check, but you know, I wasn't damaged by them or anything like that. No disrespect to Dragan, the kicks were fast and they were accurate, but you know, I was happy enough.
This isn't a suck-ass question, but how good could you be if you were training full-time and not doing all the other things in the MMA community that you do? I mean, is there ever a point where you go, I want to do this full-time? Are you happy?
Yeah, I mean, for me, in terms of motivation, it's, you know, I love my training. When I've got a fight, I'll train on the morning before I'm in the office for work, and then I'll train after, and you know, I enjoy it all. If a foolproof opportunity came along for me to be able to train full time, then you know, obviously I'd take it. You know, fighting and training is my main love, but when you have a job that you love doing every day, you know, I'm not gonna half-ass some professional fighting career when I've got a job that I love doing day in, day out anyway. So you know, I'm happy with things as they are. As things progress, I mean, the only guys that I've lost to, when you've got Andy Ogle, who's now in the UFC, I lost a close decision to him.
See how some would argue that.
Yeah, and Freddie Assunção, that was in Brazil, in his hometown. Another close fight. I mean, he's won another fight since. Both his brothers in the UFC. Both those guys train full time. So I guess in some ways it is relative. Like, you know, if you can train full time, when it goes full 3 rounds, you've probably got that little bit of edge. But other than that, you know, they're really high level guys, really great fighters. So I think I can hang with most guys doing as I do.
I don't like to compare one fighter to another because I don't think that's fair. But it seems your attitude is very, very similar to that of, you know, Rob Sinclair, who's probably number 2, number 3 lightweight in the country.
Yeah,
and again,
probably best unsigned lightweight in the country, along with like Kurt Warburton.
And he trains on time. What kind of demands does that have on your training? Can you make regular training sessions with your day job, or do you have to just as and when?
Yeah, no, I mean, to be honest, when we ran the first 2 issues of the MMA magazine, I was wiped out. You know, I couldn't train. I was doing, you know, up to 20-hour days, and it was crazy. But you know, when I'm in the office, I mean, I never stop when I get home. You know, I'll be in the office, I'll go training, and then I'll go home, and then my girlfriend complains at me because I go straight on my emails, and I'm straight on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. So it never really stops. But you know, I enjoy everything that I do. You know, it can be a grind sometimes, but you've got to embrace the grind, and you know, to have these facets of my life, which are work and pleasure, which are all intermingled. You know, I'm one of the luckiest guys out there, so I can't really complain.
I want to thank you very much for your time, especially just a few minutes straight after the fight. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to? Anybody you want to thank? Anybody you'd like to sort of say hello to while we're here?
Yeah, basically just Danny Mitchell, Cheesecake Assassin, all the guys down at AVT. Obviously they're all the guys that I train with. They beat me up day in, day out. You know, we get better together. You know, we fight together. I had like Nico, I was drowning him in a salt bath yesterday, you know, trying to get him on weight. So, you know, all the good stuff and all the bad stuff, we do it all together. So all those guys, Cage Steel, the guys that helped me out with the clothing, my boys at Keeping It Dope, who are doing this kind of stuff, and, you know, just anybody that helps me out, Duck and Dive Nutrition. Yeah, and if I've forgotten anybody, I didn't mean to, but you know, I've been punching head today. So.
Thanks very much for your time. It was a dominating performance against a quite scary striker. So well done, and we look forward to seeing you fight again. I mean,
problem.
Your MMA episode 3 I'm looking for, but not quite as much as watching you fight again. That was stunning.
Thanks
well done.
A lot.
Thank
Thanks
you.
For having me. Cheers,
no,
guys.
thanks.